Don't bite me. Sorry, I'm afraid of commitment. Oh my god, dude. It seems like you were slobbish the entire fucking time. Not like in the last few months. It sounded like you were disgusting from the beginning. So here we have Wilbur Soot. This already has 500,000 views in like a few hours. It's been like 12 hours, I think. Oh, sorry. It's actually been 2 days. I only saw it today. But yeah, let's start watching. And I'll go back and watch Shelby's video after.
Hello, people of 2025.
Hello.
I hope you've all been well. This video is going to be a bit of a different one for me. I've never been very good at update videos, but this channel's been inactive for so long, I thought one was probably well overdue. So I wanted to take this opportunity to quickly talk about what I've been up to the past.
It should also be noted that this guy is a Minecrafter and also a part of an extremely successful band. He does a lot of solo music as well, but he's like primarily a Minecrafter, and he's also part of a band called Lovejoy. Lovejoy is semi-popular. They've gotten like millions of views. Sorry, I'm completely wrong. There's a song called Lovejoy by the Cardigans that's like super popular. This is not the same, just to try to avoid confusion.
Past couple of years, what you can expect from me going forward, and of course, future YouTube content. I've been really quite busy these past few months, so I haven't really had that much to show you guys anyway. But as most of you probably already know, that isn't the only reason I've been so quiet. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a quick minute to touch on that before I move into what the future holds. There's been a lot of different clashing labels and opinions about me on the internet over the past year, the loudest of which on both sides of the fence have been quite unhealthy, stemming from accusations made about me from just over a year ago.
Oh, yeah?
And look, I'm not here to drop any bombshells. I don't want to reopen any old discussions.
These are, of course, the Shelby Shovel accusations.
I responded to the situation in February of last year, and I still stand by everything I said in that statement. I understand it was misinterpreted by some people, probably due to my wording, and I know some people are still looking for clarity, especially nowadays where personal transparency is more common amongst content creators than it's ever been before. However, this clarity, the clarity I've offered to my close friends and my family, would mean publicly sharing deeply personal parts of my private life and my relationships.
I mean, she already did that for you. She already gave the audience way more personal information than she should. It is kind of weird that he's deciding to relitigate this a year and a half after, when you know, everybody already forgot about it.
Doing that, and I don't believe that should be the cost of being understood. All I can say is that the labels that have been attributed to me by social media are not true, and I don't accept them.
Okay, so that is actually fair. He's been labeled like some crazy stuff for biting his girlfriend too hard. Which is like, okay, that's, you know, bad, whatever. But it's also like, he should be called like a rapist for it.
I don't believe in this expectation that content creators should use their platforms to attack and defend. And I definitely don't.
Oh, and it should be noted that I'm pretty sure this broke up the band for a good while. There's a guy. Okay, this Lovejoy has had way too much drama, okay? There's a guy in there called Cynic Snacks or Cynic Reviews, and that was his like original channel. But it wasn't getting a lot of views. He would do like this pseudo animated stuff. And look, the animation wasn't like actually incredible, but he had some pretty good opinions on movies or whatever. And it was, you know, a fun watch if you liked that kind of stuff. However, he didn't like where it was going. He thought he was too edgy, and so he tried to rebrand with Lovejoy. And that kind of turned into a whole thing. And it's like, then whenever this stuff came out, I think he was like, oh my god, guys. By the way, he wasn't edgy. He said like, damn, once or twice. And that was like enough for him to consider himself edgy. So, like, he didn't say the N-word, but he was treating it like he did, that he said it constantly. It was just really weird and funny. So now, Lovejoy is kind of on hold.
I think that's how serious accusations should be handled. I felt this way for a really long time now, having seen other content creators go through similar situations, and I know it's not a perspective that's going to satisfy everyone.
Like Dream.
But it's one I can get behind, and I hope that makes sense to you. None of this is me trying to dig up or dwell on the past here. I would just feel very strange if I carried on without at least acknowledging the past year. Because all I can do now is move forward, and I hope you enjoy what I've been working on. So,
sure.
For those of you that know, I'm in a band called Lovejoy.
Those who know versus those who don't
and
know.
in 2024, we did a tour of Southeast Asia, including Japan and Thailand.
Hell
we did
yeah.
a tour of Australia. We did a few shows in the United States and the United Kingdom, and it was exhausting and very surreal. But it was all made worth it by how many of you guys came.
People from the Bible Belt or heavily religious areas can be like that with swearing. No, he's from Britain.
Grateful.
Unless Britain has a Bible Belt, which I didn't. I guess it kind of does, like Coventry and stuff.
Which we've already edited down and put onto one.
I think that is where that guy is from.
So if you're at those shows,
but he's actually like half Filipino, I think.
You're just a fan of behind-the-scenes content. You can go and subscribe to that.
The Cynic Snacks guy.
The band and I wrote a few tracks. And then in classic fashion, we scrapped all of those tracks and started work on some new ones, which later came on to become our finished debut album, which will be coming out later this year.
Okay, so they did end up getting back together.
I am not allowed. But if you can't wait, our debut single, with Rob as my witness, is coming out on June 20th, complete with its own music video on our official band channel, which will be in the description. There's going to be plenty more gigs and shows and festivals planned for the rest of this year, most of which aren't even announced yet. So if you don't want to miss those, go follow us on Instagram.
Dude, is this actually just an advertisement for Lovejoy?
As well. But now you may be wondering what is happening with YouTube content, specifically this channel right here.
Nothing. It's dead.
Well, I am coming back to making YouTube videos. However, I'm probably done with Minecraft for the time being.
Oh, thank God.
I also thought instead of publishing it on this channel, I would instead move my content onto my old channel, which I made in 2017 and has the incredibly creative name Wilbur Soot. If you've been following this channel, you'll know it's currently got my YouTube covers on there, which also aren't going anywhere. And if you haven't seen them, you can check those out in the description as well. This new old channel is the only channel currently solely run and controlled by me. This is something I've had planned for a few years now. In fact, some of you may remember way back in 2022, I had an idea for a weird geography series. Those videos are in production now.
Okay.
And I should have the first batch up on that channel before the end of this year. I still love the content I made.
So wait, so this video isn't actually addressing anything? It's purely just talking about fucking, here's what I have planned next, guys. Dude, I totally thought that this was going to be addressing the Shelby Shovel stuff. But it's just like, actually, that's way too personal and you guys don't need to know that, so goodbye. That's fine. That's just not a good response. The better thing to do would just be to, like, keep uploading.
On this channel.
It's like, why are you even bringing it up? Because everybody has forgotten at this point. And it's like, he's not even addressing it, so whenever it becomes a problem again in the future, the people are just going to be like, oh, he never actually addressed it.
And I'm not deleting any of it. It's not going anywhere. In fact, if you can't wait for this geography series, there should be 1 or 2 less substantial videos already uploaded on this new old channel, which you can go and watch right now. Again, the links to everything will be in the description. I've always had...
Oh, sorry, I haven't been reading. Why does Wilbur Soot look like he recovered from being a meth addict? He kind of does. He's got like those heavy bags in his eyes. He's always been kind of like skinny like that. I'm gonna do nothing that you people liked that I did and will be boring ass washed up on YouTube. Absolutely. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm doing with my channel, but I only have like 100 subscribers. This guy is like literally millions, right? I'm not a has-been. I'm a never was. This guy is literally being a has-been. Oh, I think I can get up there.
Had a really deep fondness for YouTube. I've been doing it since 2008 now, and I guess what I want with this channel is just a place where I could return back to how I started, you know, long before all the numbers and before COVID and everything, you know, just when it was me.
Oh my God.
Camera.
Dude, this guy should literally have... I feel like there are multiple drama bingo cards that this guy has like nailed so many pieces of. It's like doesn't address the actual thing. Is moving on to a different type of content, free space, And then fucking... Oh god, he just said it and I forgot what it was.
And when I had an idea for something I thought was interesting or funny, I'd just record it, edit it, and post it. So yeah, if you're a new fan or a really long time subscriber, there'll definitely be something for you there on that new channel. Anyway, I know I've said it a million times.
Still entertaining. Wilbur is only funny because other people made him funny. Yeah. Well, thank you. I've never watched him. Honestly, I probably was in like the most boring circle of like Minecraft and like probably like Let's Plays in general. Because I was watching fucking Yogscast as a kid. That was my my Minecraft selection.
But all of the new YouTube content, music, and community stuff will be in the description below this video. I hope you like the new songs. I hope you like the new videos.
He's still doing music, right? Music is probably where his actual focus has been. Because, I'm gonna take another look at his channel. Because I think he hasn't uploaded in like... Yeah, before this, his last video was 2 years, and that was actually... That's basically Lovejoy. So it is kind of weird that he's even deciding to do music again, I guess, because it seems like he's just been out for ages. Maybe it took a long time to write this new album. Oh, a lot of drama. Okay. He didn't do anything except buy his girlfriend in hard in front of people. No, I think that's oversimplifying. February 24th, 2024. His SMP girlfriend, or Dream SMP girlfriend, whatever, accused Wilbur of biting her. Well, not accused. I think she has photos of bite marks. I'm not sure if that comes up in this video. Okay, can I unfuck the screen? Dude. Is that better? I think so. So we'll watch this now and get back to the Wilbur Soot drama. Essentially, throughout like a year or 2 year long relationship, Wilbur Soot would progressively bite Shelby Shovel more and more and harder and harder. There were two big situations that got her to break up with him. The first was going out with friends and him biting her in front of them, of Wilbur Soot's friends. And they were just like, oh yeah, he just does that.
And I was being hurt in my last relationship. And it took me all of that time to see it through that lens. I even posted an anonymous story to Reddit that I have now deleted with an anonymous account. But in post, I thought that it was just like a constant accident that he kept hurting me. But he's not hitting me.
Okay, right. Now I skipped too far.
Subtle. When I hear about physical abuse, I think of hitting. I think of hitting.
Yeah. Okay, that is normally what you think of whenever you think of physical abuse. True.
Violent enough to be abuse. I thought that it was just like a constant accident that he kept hurting me. But he's not hitting me.
That makes sense, yeah.
And it didn't start as something that he did to hurt me. He had this habit of biting, which is so weird to me now.
That is super weird. That is super weird. I have never heard of a relationship where it's like characterized by biting unless it's with like a dog or a cat. I've never heard of a human relationship characterized by biting. That is kind of insane.
And even his mom said that that was true. And he said it was just affectionate and that might have been... I mean, I think that might have been true maybe at the start, but I also feel that I have good reason to believe that every part of it was a lie, but that's just my personal opinion. And I had no problem with just fighting. That isn't even the most uncommon thing. But he did mention something early that I should have taken as a red flag. And he wanted to make sure that I was okay with him biting me because he didn't want me to come back later and say that he abused me, which I thought was really weird considering he had never hurt me before. And so why would I call it abuse? And why was he thinking about that? And I thought he was being sweet, checking on me to make sure that I was still comfortable. But of course I was, because he hadn't hurt me. And why would I think he ever would? And then he did for the first time by accident. And I don't specifically remember the actual first time that he bit me too hard by accident because I didn't think that it would be significant.
Okay.
I thought that it would only happen once.
Does he mention her name?
He started biting me
Does she mention his name?
Of time, sort of throughout the whole relationship, and accidents
so
of him
fucked
biting
up.
too hard.
That actually is super fucked up, right? Like you're in like a normal relationship, it just like progressively gets worked. That is like one of the worst things in the world, I think.
me happened more and more frequently. But he always seemed genuinely sorry, and he decided that he didn't want to keep accidentally hurting me. So we were going to use a safe word, so he could learn where my limit was, where my pain tolerance ended. And saying that out loud now doesn't sound...
Wait, that's actually super fucked up. So he bit her specifically in the intention to find out her pain tolerance? That's like hellish, actually.
But at the time, I thought he cared about not hurting me. But in reality, it's like, why are you biting so hard? And why do you have to bite so hard?
Okay, wait, I forgot how bad this was. This actually makes his update video look terrible. That's like... Actually, like, what the fuck? That's his response? His response is that fucking... I don't have one? No way. Okay, wait, I'm sorry for like non-10 right there, but holy shit. Like, in the context of the response, that fucking changes everything, I think.
And it shouldn't be...
Because, by the way, she doesn't actually show that much evidence in this video. And Wilbur doesn't provide anything at all on his, which is, like, all the more insane now that I think about it. But she's, like, widely believed, I think, still, even after the Katybug stuff.
Part of a problem to stop. That shouldn't be that hard. And he disguised it as this really quirky part of our relationship and was so comfortable sharing it with his friends.
Aw, it's so quirky, guys. It's so quirky.
He thought it was this really funny story to tell and a good bit to take my arm and bite me in front of everybody until I literally shout in pain. And then I have to laugh it off because I'm so embarrassed and I don't want to cause a scene in front of all of our friends. And I'm sure everyone was a little bit uncomfortable, but as long as I was saying that it was fine, nobody really felt like they needed to be concerned, and that's not anybody's fault because I was lying. I was lying.
Wait, you were
and it wasn't fine
what?
because I would go home later and I'd tell him how uncomfortable I was, how much I didn't like being hurt all the time. And I needed him to really stop biting so hard. I didn't like it, and I tried telling him over and over again because he wasn't actually trying at all.
He wasn't like
to not hurt
listening
me.
or caring, yeah. Holy shit.
But he said he would try at first. And then he started saying things like it was my pain tolerance that was too low.
Wait, no way. The response to stop biting me was, you're just such a fucking pussy, dude. Oh my god.
Exaggerating how much it actually hurts. He's not even biting that hard. I'm being dramatic. But his biting escalated to a point where I was covered in bruises all over my arms, and they hurt, and he would poke at them for fun. And he felt so comfortable showing off my bruises that he had caused to our friends because he would bite me so hard by accident.
Little FPS made by a guy in Finland. It's like a Quake.
He would even joke that it looked like he abused me.
There.
And eventually he did acknowledge how bad it looked that I was covered in bruises all the time. So he stopped
Stop biting you basically right before you went out into public.
And he started biting my legs instead.
Oh my god.
And it was in the last couple of months
Holy
of the relationship
shit.
that every time he bit me, it was until I needed to use this safe word. It had become his benchmark for when to stop. Only once I was definitely hurt.
Oh my god, dude. So, okay. No, that's crazy. So far we have, he bites me. And you have to use a safe word because you were a pussy to him, I guess? You were too weak.
Which meant I was being hurt every single day.
God, you complain so much. My last girlfriend let me fucking bite to her fucking flesh. You're such a fucking pussy, Shelby. Holy fuck, dude. That's insane.
Multiple times a day for all of the days that we spent together in person. And when I asked him to stop again, this time he said, this is who he is. He isn't going to change. Those were his words. And I remember a lot of specifically his words about certain things, especially at the end, because I'm good at remembering words, and especially his wording.
Yeah, dude, everybody learns to remember words in their fucking first grade.
Himself, and I would notice, but most of the time it wasn't worth picking a fight over. But he would fight me on it sometimes because I would point it out, and he would insist that he had never said the thing that he said. He definitely did say. And then he would say something like,
yeah, I completely forgot how bad this was. I don't remember it being nearly this bad. I guess it's just time, right? Like, it's just like an over time you forget things. like a, you know, normal human being, but this is like horrific. Like I said, I don't remember there being like a huge amount of evidence that she actually shows for this, but he never responded. I think it's true, because his response isn't like, oh hey guys, yeah, I'm fucking I didn't do it, it's all lies, here's the evidence, I never bit her. I mean, you can't prove a negative, right? If there's, but like, it wasn't that. It was, I'm just gonna focus on other things, guys. I'm gonna do my history channel now. Holy fuck.
Why are you always right? And he definitely said the things that I heard him say, and other people heard him say. So he had, now at this point, weaponized the safe word and was using it to ensure that I was hurt, and on a constant basis. And he wasn't sorry anymore. I couldn't even tell you the last time he had apologized for doing it anymore, because now sometimes he would bite me and I would yell out the safe word because it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And he'd clamp down even harder. And
oh my God.
Just for a second, just for good measure, before letting go. And sometimes I'd say the safe word and he'd grind his teeth down on my skin.
Holy shit.
And sometimes he'd smile after. Like a gloating grin. And during this time, I was filled with so much anxiety all the time that I was constantly nauseous, gagging daily, on occasion throwing up.
Yeah, anxiety can make you do that.
In my stomach. I never told him about that, though. I was going and running away quietly to throw up in the toilet and rejoin our group of friends. But I felt so unwanted and ignored. And I would tell him that, and then he would reassure me that he wanted to be together and he loved me. He loved me more than I loved him, even. He would always insist that that was true, like that. I love you more. But he was like really serious about it. And looking back, I do believe that the way I was swept off my feet at the beginning of this relationship was 100% love bombing. And we were friends for a time. At least people would have thought that, actually. But I use the word friend very loosely because we had actually never spoke to each other outside of group chats we were in together when, like, a handful of times throughout the whole time that we knew each other, but did not talk to each other. So I wouldn't have even called him my friend until
oh my God.
He found out I was single, waited a few weeks to reach out, and then we started a friendship. And then that friendship turned romantic, and then he made these huge romantic gestures. He wrote me the most beautiful love letter that I had ever read.
So yeah, so this is like definitional love bombing. It'd be nice if she showed the love letter, but also, like, this is one of the things, I'm always like too skeptical. But like, yeah, Wilbur never came back with anything against this. He literally just, dude, what the fuck?
Me, his soulmate. He talked about forever 1 month in. He told me he hadn't been in a relationship in 5 years. He thought he could never find love again before he met me. He said he wanted someone to grow with. He wanted to be a dad. He had all his names picked out. And I didn't have a preference because
he had kid names picked out? Wait, what does that mean? What does that mean? What does names picked out mean? Does that mean like pet names? Or does that mean he had fucking he was like fantasizing about having kids with you before you guys even met? Oh my God.
Of it is, if the timing is right and with the right person, I could. But if that doesn't work out in time or the time, you know, I'm not super pressed about it. But I started opening my mind up to the idea with him because it seemed so important to him. And I kept trying to talk to him to figure out where he was later on when I could tell things like were declining. And now all of a sudden he's telling me he's not sure he wants kids at all. In fact, he has never been attached to the idea of kids. And I told him that isn't what he said.
So okay, let me get this straight. Wilbur Soot's pickup line is, I want to make babies with you and I want to name him Sheldon. And then like a few months into the relationship, he's fucking like, yeah, actually, I don't care. I never wanted kids ever. First off, how did that work on you? Second off, Jesus, that fucking sucks.
Before, and he said he's allowed to change his mind. And I'm of the opinion that in a relationship, there are a few things that you are not actually allowed to change your mind without letting your partner know. I think that kids is one of them. It wasn't even important to me. And I think marriage is one of them, so I brought that up next. And I asked if he still wanted marriage. He said he wanted to marry me. And then he said, now, I'm not the, quote, I'm not the commitment guy, you know that. I didn't know that. Why are you dating me?
Yeah.
In fact, he was telling me the exact opposite every day. He would tell me he still wanted to be together. He wanted to work on all of the problems. He wanted to, like, he wanted me at the end of everything. He did not want to break up. He made that very clear. And I have, though, caught him in lies before, but usually it was small stuff. And again, I didn't want to, it wasn't anything that ever seemed worth rocking the boat over, which isn't normal for me. I hate lies, and yet I ended up lying for him. So, but he had lied about big things, and he had also been caught lying by his friends numerous times. So this is something that he feels is acceptable to do. And
yeah, apparently.
Everything reached a breaking point when he was about to leave for an extended period of time. We were not going to see each other very much, a few days out of every few months. And now suddenly he is dumping all of these problems that he has been having feelings about all of this time later. At one point he said he's been feeling this way a couple months. At another point he says he's been feeling this way for 6 months, immediately contradicting himself in the same conversation. And with no time to do anything about it. I arrived, never mind, I'm gonna get to something later, but I literally arrived for 3 days for this conversation to happen and then leave. My cat just woke up and she's not usually
hi cat. Yeah, dude, this is super fucked up. The only simp to get the girl he wanted. Apparently, yeah. I'm sure she has like so many like fucking tier 3, 4 subscribers that really fucking want to get with her. And she's like goes with a guy who's like, I want to name him Paul.
So
I want to name him John.
Fix any of the problems all of a sudden because
I want to name him Wilbur Jr.
And he insisted he did not want to break up. So he was expecting me to have a solution somehow magically, and I gave a number of solutions that would have a way forward for us to be together, but he refused to make any compromise whatsoever. And he said that the relationship was starting to feel like a responsibility towards the end. Also his words. So it wasn't a...
So you were like, I don't want to be bitten anymore, and he's like, I'm not into engagement. I'm not into responsibility. My God.
Responsibility the whole rest of the time to him. And he was at this point basically...
What's the word? I'm afraid of commitment. Don't bite me. Sorry, I'm afraid of commitment. Oh my God, dude. This is so much worse than I remember it being. This is actually like... This is mind-blowing. Going from his response to this...
Flaunting that he would never prioritize me over anything. She's eating my laundry. Please don't cause problems.
I do think he is scared of commitment. He couldn't commit to SMP. He couldn't commit to Lovejoy. And now he's probably going to be unable to commit to his fucking History Channel.
And I wasn't even asking for literally even the bare minimum. I was asking for so little. And I was watching him give exactly what I was needing in the relationship.
Welcome back.
All over the place to anybody else who just happened to ask and just wasn't me. So, and he was never going to prioritize me over anything that would give him more fame.
So again, we do not have the full context for this. That's the only thing I want to make clear. I'm far too skeptical of this, I think. Like, I think I actually am, but it's in me. I'm a, what is it? Cynical person. We don't know what her commitment looks like, because if her commitment's like, I want to have kids, and they've been together for like a year, that is a little bit much, right? But if the relationship is founded on the premise of like, we should make babies, it's just super fucking weird. And he does have a response. This video I'm watching from Clem Everett has the Wilbur's apology later in the video. I believe it's a single like Twitter text.
In fact, he said that himself. That was exactly why he was not going to compromise at all for a solution for us to be together, because he said he wanted to see how much fame and money he could get.
Okay.
And I just thought we wanted to be together. I thought that's what we both wanted, because that's what he was still saying he wanted to. But then he also admitted to me that he had grown to resent me. And I have to be thankful that he said that bit out loud. A lot of these bits he said out loud, because that was the last push that I needed to get myself out.
Because you won't let him bite you. He's resentful.
Resentful, which I also pointed out that there was no reason, like there was no reason to feel that way, and he admitted that there was no reason for him to feel that way either. I think that it was because I'm someone who can communicate how I feel. But I don't know.
I mean, yeah, actually, kind of.
I believe things happened the way that they did, and why he was lying all of the time. But he was resentful of me, was causing me physical harm every day, multiple times a day, despite me telling him over and over again to stop. He wasn't going to change, and he wasn't going to end the relationship. He was going to keep hurting me.
He wasn't going to end the relationship either, so he was just going to, like... Further. He was just planning on causing you as much physical and emotional pain as he possibly could. That's what I'm seeing right now. It seems maybe that's a bit dramatic, but it's like, I'm not gonna stop biting you because I don't care about what you think, and I'm not gonna end the relationship because I hate you, but I also want to keep biting you. Okay.
And I didn't even want to. Because I couldn't even see for such a long time after what it really was that had happened, that he had abused me. And in fact, we left things.
I do think that is kind of abusive. The way she's describing it is abusive, because why would you not break up with someone that you hate unless you are staying together purely to like cause them pain, right?
Friends, and he can never imagine not speaking to me again. And then he never spoke to me again. Outside of like a couple of exchanges where I needed to ask for my clothes to be shipped, so at least I got my clothes back. I have a whole closet full. However, he did throw away all of my other things without saying a word to me about it.
Oh,
hundreds of dollars of things from my office were trashed without a word, and I didn't block him till 10 months later because I wanted an open door still. I really thought I wanted to be his friend. That way anymore. I do believe he was bottling up so many emotions, and he would never talk about how he felt. I think he did admit that he felt like he couldn't say it any sooner. Like, there was just no possible way to say how he was feeling sooner than the absolute last possible chance, like, not even a chance, because 3 days before he left. That was actually a lie, too, also. He didn't leave for another week after I left.
Oh.
He brought me in, had this 3-day conversation. He was supposed to leave, and then he stayed for another week before he left, with all of the friends that I was also meant to see, but he had
Was he packing, or was he just, like, bumming around?
But I do believe that that he was bottling up so many emotions that he was taking it out on me physically. I believe there was a moment where he knew that he didn't.
It probably is a bit stressful being in like a mega successful.
He tried to push me away any way he knew would hurt me, and he knew all of the ways that would hurt me.
Band, Lovejoy, but like that's no excuse. That's no excuse to use your partner as a fucking dog toy.
The most, and he knew he was hurting me. There was no way that he didn't know because of the safe word that he made. And he just didn't care. He was hurting me and he didn't care. And even looked like he was enjoying it sometimes. And I can look back now and I can see all these instances that were really major red flags. There was this one time that he pinned me down and asked me to try my absolute hardest to get him off of me. And I couldn't do it, obviously. And he said something to make the point that he was so much stronger than me that I wouldn't be able to fight him back. Fight back against what? What do you mean? You don't say shit like that to people? That's insane.
I don't understand that.
And I was also sexually assaulted by my first boyfriend, and he knew that.
I have to read that again. I have to hear that again.
Of this one time that he pinned me down and asked me to try my absolute hardest to get him off of me. And I couldn't do it, obviously. And he said something to make the point that he was so much stronger than me that I wouldn't be able to fight him back.
Oh.
Fight back against what? What do you mean?
Okay, that might be... I'm not sure how to take that, because that seems like that could be like a weird sexual thing, maybe? That still seems really fucking bad.
You don't say shit like that to people? That's insane.
That is a very like court lawyer moment. It's like, no. Like, she's like, no, stop. Like, no, stop. Get off of me. That kind of thing. But it could also, you know, completely be genuine.
By my first boyfriend, and he knew that.
Oh yeah, she's sexually assaulted by her first boyfriend.
He had stopped giving anything to the relationship, and he said that why was because he was just waiting for things to change on their own. He said
so he wasn't willing to change anything.
He didn't have the time or energy anyway to do the things that I was asking for, but then would constantly make any bit of time and energy for anybody and anything but me. And he would say he wanted more quality time. So then I would try to arrange things for us to do online because we were long distance, but then he would complain that he doesn't want to spend all of his time on the computer anymore. And then we'd be there in person, and all he wants to do is stay inside, play games on his computer, watch movies. He doesn't want to go out. And I'm not saying any of this next part to be mean. He lived in
squalor.
Filth. Like,
yeah,
I
filth.
have never seen. And I've seen filth. This was the worst. He would spill things on the floor and literally never
Oh my god,
clean
dude.
them up. He got an ant infestation once.
Really?
And about it because he said.
So normally I don't
normal
like
in
agree
British
that just
houses.
like living real
So I
like
had to buy an
shit
ant
is
killer,
abusive, but if you
and
live to
he
the
wouldn't clean
point
his
where you're
bathroom for
actually
months.
making like an inhospitable environment for everyone, that is like almost downright abusive. Yeah.
And months, but would constantly complain about how bad it smelled, and I would tell him that's mold. It's mold. He complained about being tired all the time too, which I don't know if that was a lie or not, but mold.
Probably because of the
will do
mold,
that
yeah.
too. But he
That
would
makes
insist
sense.
that it wasn't somehow, without having cleaned in months. But it's not mold. When I met him, he was washing his clothes without detergent. Just it wasn't using it
Really?
at all. And I don't know for how long before I met him. He was just running it with water and then hanging it on his filthy kitchen cabinets.
What the
And I
fuck?
felt bad. I felt bad because I felt like he needed someone to help him learn how to be cleaner. I thought he just didn't know how. And I listened to all of the struggles of his upbringing, and I was like, he just doesn't know how. Someone just needs to show him. And then I found out that he said he doesn't clean at all when I'm not there because he just waits for me to get there to do it. And I only found out about that after we broke up because he said it behind my back. I was doing all of the cleaning and laundry for him. Also, I had a separate bathroom. I want to make that clear. I wasn't using that bathroom. I had a separate bathroom that I cleaned for myself.
Yeah, that
I had
makes
cleaning
sense.
supplies. I don't think he even actually knew I had cleaning supplies in there.
Dude, that's
But
crazy.
I had my own bathroom. All the cleaning, all the laundry, all of it, I was paying for. All of the like paper towels, like soap, all of that only stayed in the house so long as I was buying it. I would arrive and there would just not be toilet paper in the whole house. There were paper towels instead, and who knows for how long too. I was paying for food more than half the time because he would often push me into ordering food for us, even if I had paid for the last meal or the meal before that. And I'm of the opinion now that I shouldn't have been paying for any
No,
food.
you should not have.
None at all. But I wanted to at least, I thought I was being equal by at least doing like a back and forth. But I ended up paying for food more often than just going back and forth anyway. And he would do this to his friends all the time too.
I do think that's
But I
fair.
was also paying for every plane ticket and the cat sitter,
unavoidable.
which cost roughly the amount of a plane ticket to England.
Oh, yeah, I
and
mean,
he-
that makes sense. So, a plane ticket to England. Well, wait, she's from LA, right? Because all these people are in LA. Die? So, wait, what is a plane ticket from LA to. So, she's either an East Coaster, which if she is, then the price is about $600. Wait, this was during COVID, right? No, this is probably pre-COVID. Like $600 to $800. Flight from LA to London, like Gatwick. Gatwick. It's about it's about the same, dude. What the fuck? Wait, can I go to London? No, it's like the same price actually. What the fuck, dude? They're fucking you. Plane companies are absolutely fucking East Coasters. No, that's probably why everybody moves to LA. You can travel easy.
Never offered to help me pay after the couple of times he did come here to visit me because he paid for the flights that we would both take. But that only happened twice at the very beginning. I have actually had a friend tell me that this is financial abuse, but I don't know enough about that to say for myself. But I was telling him that I couldn't afford it.
That does sound like financial abuse. Also, yeah, Shelby, look, I gave her shit for being in LA, right? If she's like a smaller YouTuber, she probably like needs all that she can to actually survive. How much does she have? Or how much did she have? That's gonna be really hard to find, isn't it? Shelby Shovel. So she has a million, oh my god, dude. Dude, her channel's dead. Her channel's dead as fuck. She's probably like a live streamer, right? So her actual like channel is there for people who really care. Okay, so she's like a Twitch streamer. This is her Twitter. Her Twitch. 5K followers? That's actually really good on Twitch. You can't get stats, right? Oh wait, what was that thing that Ethan used? It's like Twitch tracker? So she was averaging about 400 to 500 viewers on Twitch. If she multi-streamed, she's definitely getting livable time. Is there more details? Streams, games, clips? No, not clips, statistics. I'll pull this over to the other window in a second. Followers gained, average followers. It's not saying how many subscribers she had. Here you go, everybody. This is her statistics. You can see you can see followers, viewers, peak, hours watched, all that kind of thing. Active days, hours watched, follower hours. Doesn't say subs or donations, which kind of sucks.
Losing money. I was never able to work properly there, and he wasn't traveling at all to see me anymore, even though he said he would. That was like the basis of our entire relationship starting off. So then he agreed to pay for the cat sitter so that it would be basically paying half the cost of my travels. And he did that once.
So a cat sitter for like a week? That makes sense, actually. $300, $400.
And I was traveling often. I had to, because he was worried that we weren't spending enough quality time together. And then all of the time that he would have ever extra, he would choose to not spend it on me because there was an available choice, and he chose not to spend it with me often. And I did everything short of just up and move there, which I was willing to do the whole time. And I told him that I was willing to do it, and he knew, but he insisted that I don't. He insisted not to. He was planning to move here. That was supposed to happen first. And then at the end of the relationship, he said maybe things would have been different if I lived there. If I lived there.
Dude, that would have sucked for her if he actually moved in with her. That would have sucked for the both of them.
Maybe that could have saved the relationship. And I say all of this because I believe that people like this are genuinely dangerous. I believe he is dangerous. He was willing to lie. He was willing to do harm to someone he claimed to love more than anyone he has ever loved.
I mean, it sounds like he'll claim that in any relationship, really.
I don't think that.
But I guess that's her point.
And I felt like sharing my story was really important to warn people. I want people to see the signs that I refused to. I want you to listen to your body.
Listen to your body,
and get out
guys.
as soon as possible. Tell your friends.
I mean, her body told her to make kids and to like, get with this guy right away. So maybe that's not the right thing, but like, yeah, listen to your body, whatever it tells you. Hey, I hurt right now. Stop getting bitten as fuck. Dude, I am flubbing this game right now.
Friends, the truth, and let them help you. I really thought I couldn't, because I had been sexually assaulted in a previous relationship, I just thought I was so much smarter to never, and I was like, if someone ever laid their hands on me,
you had never been like
immediately. It would never happen a
emotionally
second time.
or physically assaulted in that way, right?
It just kind of happened so slowly over time.
But it makes sense that you wouldn't be able to see it coming,
until the point where
I think.
there's no way to deny the fact that he was hurting me and he knew and didn't care. That's just the kind of thing that I keep repeating to myself when I'm like, but was it bad enough? It wasn't violent enough. But I was being hurt multiple times every single day, days and days and days and days for a month at a time in a row. And I'm not even speaking on most, because I did touch on other things, but I'm not even speaking on most of the other things that, in my opinion, I do think that there are some things that are across a line that make you a bad person. I don't think that most people can be defined in a black and white, you're good or you're bad, but I do believe that there's a line that you can cross, and only bad people will do the things on the other side of that line. You know what I mean?
So like,
and
it sounds like
that line.
From the financial aspect, I could still excuse that as lazy.
That my soul is so healed, I am light years beyond him. This was the last thing that I felt like I needed to do.
Whoa, what the fuck? Laser drones.
Before I could move forward and hopefully never talk about him ever again, outside of maybe my stories that I want to tell about other shitty things he did anonymously, mixed in with the other stories I still have of shitty things that shitty exes did, because I think it's important for us to share our stories and our experiences. I think it's important for all of us to know that we deserve so much better than this. And I think that if people don't want us to talk about the shitty things that they do, then they shouldn't do shitty things.
Yes, I agree, Shovel.
And this just felt so important to share. I always wanted to share my experiences. I always will. And that's kind of it. That's the end of everything I prepared. I reserve the right entirely to change my mind later and tell every story I want to. But for now, that's all I really have. I feel like from my soul I want to speak on, because I think that this can help other people. I think that it can help other victims. I have already talked to a number of... I only cry now when I'm talking about my friends who also dealt with such shitty things from shitty people. But I'm also so grateful for all of my friends who were with me through this whole thing, and my friends who also were experiencing similar sorts of situations at the same time, and we kind of went through it together. So I think they are the strongest people in the whole world, and they made me feel like the strongest people in the whole world today. Did I call myself people? I meant person. I feel like the strongest people. I said it again. I feel like the strongest person. They made me feel so brave. I felt impenetrable today. But I am going to go now because my friends are coming over, and we're immediately going to go become distracted by watching Love is Blind. I already watched all of it already, and I don't care. So thank you for listening.
Okay, so this is his apology? Okay, so I believe this is like cut out. This is like text copying of his Twitter response. So that was kind of sad, you know. Whatever. Oh, so this is annotated. I want to see what he actually wrote. I don't care about this random person's annotations. So we have, in the past weeks, a series of allegations have been made over my conduct from an ex-girlfriend. I want to emphasize that although I feel it fair to offer my perspective, this person's feelings are valid. So that basically is an admitted that it's true. I have taken my time sharing this statement as I wanted to process and respond respectfully and with the hope to gain a deeper understanding for the situation. Despite our relationship's final months, I regretfully became slobbish, disrespectful, and selfish. Okay, so that seems like lies. It seems like you were slobbish the entire fucking time. Not like in the last few months. It sounded like you were disgusting from the beginning. Disrespectful, I'm not certain about that. Definitely in the middle. And selfish, I don't know. These actions caused a lot of pain to my ex-girlfriend, and I've since sought therapy to address these behaviors, making significant lifestyle changes to rectify my past actions. I've come to realize how much my past behavior hurt this person, but I truly compassionately believe I have made great strides from the person I once was and hope to continue and grow and to improve on this trajectory. So this is basically, in my mind, he's saying this last part in order, he's like, hey, I apologize. I actually did all this, but in case you're still a gullible, dumb woman, I'm open for fuck. The allegation of abuse, particularly in the form of biting, deeply shocked me. Throughout our relationship, I understood that our numerous conversations and text messages exchanges on the subject that this behavior was consensual, playful, and reciprocally enjoyed. I truly believe those personal message exchanges reflect mutual affection and understanding. So if he did, he should have showed them. I would have loved if he actually showed any messages that prove that this was like a playful sex thing. Out of respect for her, I choose not to publish them. How about respect for yourself? No, I actually do think he did it now. And I emphasize my perspective and is not shared to diminish or invalidate anyone's feelings. Instead, I share it in the hope that I can offer genuine, fair, and relevant insight into my understanding. Wait, so did he? So he says, I choose not to publish them, and then instead I share it. Okay. While I may perceive our interactions differently, I recognize that this person has processed and expressed feelings of hurt. I want to extend my sincerest apologies to pain that I have caused. I'm fully committed to understanding and addressing her concerns going forward. Well, you're not in a relationship anymore, so whatever. This is just like... This is almost like lawyer speak. I hope my perspective sheds light on this situation without detracting from its message. I'm dedicated to earning and maintaining the trust of those around me and hope to be held to these high standards I wish to attain and maintain. Shovel's response. I could not have imagined that I would wake up today and my ex pretended he thought I enjoyed being hurt and all my friends immediately coming to my defense. The support has brought me tears. I don't even know what to say. I'll be back. Just taking time. For record, I don't accept the apology. Yeah. Very good. Jesus Christ. Holy fucking shit. I don't want to rewatch this because I think he doesn't even apologize. He like mentions it like random, like I don't want to talk about it. I'm doing my own thing now. Jesus. Let me check Twitter. I want to see if Wilbur Soot's Twitter ever like brought up anything. Oh, so he actually has that still pinned to his Twitter. That's a bad read, I think. So Dream actually responded. Let's bring this up. I have like a billion tabs. So Dream earned a W after this. Dream earned that W. God, I'm so cringe. She said she withdrew consent using a safe word, and you frequently would intentionally bite down harder afterward to the point she would scream. Even isolated from everything else, this is clearly abuse. While reading this, I was waiting to see you talk about the issue, to say anything at all, only to finish reading and find out you didn't acknowledge it once. I don't understand how you thought this accountability or apology was, or even an informative statement. This did serve as confirmation he was talking about you, which I'm glad to have, Wilbur. You took accountability for being slobbish, disrespectful, and selfish, and it seems that those are the only things you acknowledge as your past problems, while overshadowing the physically abusive actions and claiming to be completely reformed now. You truly think you did nothing abusive, and the statement is built on that foundation. You are being dishonest with yourself, or us, or both. You describe these actions as consensual without refuting her complete revocation of consent through your agreed-upon safe word. I mean, you guys get the idea, right? I don't need to read the rest of this. So his Twitter seems to be dead. I don't know if he's even been active on it. You can't see likes on Twitter anymore, so you can't see if people are active. Oh, you know what? Has Shubble said anything? She has not mentioned anything about it. Okay. Oh, replies? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, that's the end of the drama. That's the end of the Wilbur Soot drama for now. Until he bites another girl and we get like an insane anything. Insane, literally anything at all.